Okay.
All right.
Correct.
So, okay, Mountain Women Business, November, what, 16th. So welcome, welcome. We've got a couple of good speakers, so let's go through the introductions fairly quickly so that we give each of them enough of time to introduce themselves and let us know everything about them. So, Stephanie Ferradini, I'm a paralegal, a bookkeeper, secretary and treasurer of Mountain Women in Business. So if you have any questions on our group, then call. If you want to give me money, I take Zelle and checks, and so I'm available. So email me, text me, call me. Okay, let's get into Deb.
Hi everybody, Deb Evans. I handle the Zoom, trying to let everybody in, and emails and social media. And if you need any assistance, just reach out, let us know, mountainwomeninbusiness@gmail.com.
Great. And you're just a wealth of information. I'm so happy to hear that our members are taking advantage of your knowledge, and I love it. So thank you. Okay, Rachel, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Rachel Henderson, co-president of Mountain Women in Business with Deb, and Steph and Pat are our other wonderful leaders. I'm the owner and artist of Rachel's Creations. I specialize in face painting and murals and canvas painting parties and all things artsy. And I'm also a part-time house and pet sitter with over 35, probably close to 40 years of experience now. And looking forward to the holidays and seeing everyone for the holiday party too soon.
Great. And we'll post about the cookie exchange and the date and time. I think it's at Blue Mountain Kitchens on December 13th.
Yep, it's in the chat already.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Alicia, good morning.
Good morning, Alicia Sexton, Remax Alliance, Realtor Extraordinaire. Don't know if I told you guys that, and full of it too, a little bit. If I told you guys that I'm the assistant managing broker now for our Evergreen and Conifer offices. I don't remember if I told you that or not. So just
congratulations.
Yay, thank you. Yeah, so sell houses, land, that's all I do.
Perfect. Okay. Sarah Miller, good morning.
Oh, hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Sarah. Literally the first time in the group, I saw the post by somebody last night, and so requested to come in. I'm not so new to the area, but new to wanting to connect. I own a private consulting firm called Audra Group, and we do organizational assistance with organizational structuring, grant writing, public health, things like that. So you can, I'll post my website, but love to get to know everybody. Thanks for welcoming me in with just a request. I appreciate that. And I'm in Pine Junction and my internet's icky today. So
great. If you can, me too. Me too. Okay. Lisa, I know that you're speaking, but if you just give a quick little hi, then.
Hemstreet, I help people save, organize, share, and manage their photos and videos, and I'll be telling you a lot more about that later.
Perfect. Okay. Katie, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Katie Burgoyne. My husband and I own Denver AmRamp. We do home and business accessibility in the form of modular ramps, like that one. We do stair lifts, vertical platform lifts, full ADA home modifications. Our ramps are available for rent or purchase. We also do a rent to own program. And yeah, that's all. I also sell Rhodian and Fields. If you need that or want some samples, I've got like a ton. And I'm not the consultant that will bother you because I will forget.
Well, it's a great product. So, okay. Rin?
Oh, awesome. Unmute button. Hello, I'm new. Hi, Rachel. Thank you, you guys. Excited to be here. I have been a I say unauthenticity coach, life coach for a long time, taking that now to helping people exit the medical field if it's their time to leave, or help them with some clarity around that. Also, the reason I'm here is that I am just opening the Raven Room, an alternative wellness studio. So it's kind of a twist and some edge to yoga and acupuncture and different movement classes. There'll be different empowerment things. And I'm kind of a heavy metal edgy chick. So we're putting that all into everything going on there. So doing it a little bit different. So come on down and check it out.
Great. If you'll put your, do you have a website up yet? Okay, perfect. Put that in our chats and everybody can check it out. So that's great. Well, welcome.
Perfect. Thank you.
Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Rebecca Parent with Parent Technology Solutions. I do everything computer related, so technology training, large or small, so individually one-on-one, adults or youth, but primarily reaching out to adults right now and business owners. And I also do curriculum writing, so if you have any custom software that you need some technical writing done for, I'm available for that.
Great, great. Josie, good morning.
Hey, hi, good morning. I'm Josie. I have a building at the meeting called the Meeting Sanctuary in Indian Hills. And so we rent it out for people that want to do meetings or wine tastings or small events or, you know, any things like that. We're right next to Mac Nation by Rachel there, and across from the post office in Indian Hills. So yeah, that's what we do.
Great, great. Lisa Hoffman, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Lisa Hoffman. I'm a local realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Elevated Living Real Estate right by the lake. And I sell foothills properties primarily between Bailey and Evergreen. And the best place to reach me is at loveconifer.com.
Great. Ruth Day, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Ruth Day, with Cleaning Green 123, Norwick's independent consultant, and I get the privilege of coming into your homes and sharing with you how you can convert slowly your cleaning processes at home to healthy removing the chemicals from your home and replacing them with healthy products. And I do that with your household cleaning every day or with your personal care. And so if you're ever interested in that, reach out to me and I'd love to be able to come and do that with you.
Great. Good morning. Okay. Amber, good morning. Looks like Amber might be muted. We'll go back to Amber. Audrey, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm driving. So, hi. And by the way, Ruth, I haven't forgot about you. I'm moving right now. So when I'm settled, we need to get together. Anyway, I'm Audrey Krebs. Hi, everyone. And I'm with Aging Services Consultants. And I work as a care manager. I have clients that I'm a care manager for, and then also referral and placement when someone is making a transition in life, possibly moving out of their home, going into an older or a senior community. They can call me and I can help them. I will go with and help you find what it is you're looking for so that, or what it is your family's looking for so that they can thrive. And that's Aging Services Consultants. You can look me up on the web. All right, thanks.
Great.
And it's good to see everyone. And yes, it's good to see everyone. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that I hope your move is easy and painless.
Well, lucky for me, I have contractors there 24/7. How about that? So
that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bye,
so let's try Amber.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now I have some noise here. I apologize.
Perfect.
I'm Amber with Daddy's Homemade. We were awarded New Business of the Year in Evergreen, so that's super exciting this year. We make all natural homemade syrup and pancake mix. My husband has a goal of 100 flavors. We're at 61, so pretty crazy. If there's a flavor that we don't have, we could probably make it for you. We're at different events throughout the year. Got a few stores that have some of our product at Abergata and Conifer, Fun and Funky and Bailey, a couple of different locations. And of course, we've got our website. There's a event coming up this Saturday for anybody that's looking for some holiday shopping local at the, it's Friday evening and Saturday. We're going to be there on Saturday at the Aspen Park Community Center. And then we've got our events page too. We're going to be at the Winterfest at the Center for Arts on December 4th. So lots of great ways to shop local and find lots of great local businesses and vendors.
Perfect.
And I just saw the chat. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I think that Audra is the last one. Did I miss anybody? Perfect. Okay, let's just go right into Audra with her introduction and her talk. She's going to talk about some credit myths and facts. So this should be interesting.
Okay, all right. I hope so. I think Lisa's presentation may be a little bit more interesting. I'm all about the numbers. So
I'm excited for both.
Good morning, ladies, and thanks again for the opportunity. My name is Audra Lori. I am a loan officer with Caliber Home Loans. So I do everything residential. If you need money, you're going to come to me first, and then I'm going to send you off to Alicia and Lisa, and they're going to find the home of your dreams. So I have been in the industry for about 19 years now, going on 20. Just a little bit of background about me and my family. I was actually born and raised on the south side of Chicago, and my husband of 26 years, Steve, and I have one son, Adam, who's 23. And we've actually been coming out to Colorado for about 20 years. A really good friend of ours moved out here, and we've been kind of visiting on and off. And in 2018, my son was away in college, and my husband and I said, you know what, we're gonna just take off for 3 weeks. We got on the motorcycle, we headed out west. We went through Montana, the Rocky Mountains, Canada, Wyoming, came back through lovely Iowa and Illinois, and literally 6,000 miles later pulled up to our driveway. And I told Steve, I looked at him and I said, you know what? So the only thing that's missing right now is a for sale sign in front of our house. And that was in 2018. So we kind of put together like a 5 to 8 year plan actually to come out here. And with COVID last summer, my husband was laid off, which I'm sure is, not very uncommon during that time. And we just decided to pull the plug, and we moved up our timeline. We moved in, actually November 30th will be 1 year that we're out here in Bailey. So absolutely love it out here. Wish we probably could have came out here a little bit sooner to enjoy it, but right now we're still able to move around and kind of enjoy what we want to do. So we're glad we made the move when we did. Like I said, I've been a loan officer for going on 20 years now. I really do love what I do. I would say my favorite part of the job is really helping new homeowners kind of navigate through the process, and to see them at the closing table when they actually have those house keys in their hand, which they never thought they have. That's really kind of why I do what I do. I would say over the last 20 years, there's been the biggest change I would say in the industry over the last 20 years, and there's goods and bads, is just the information that people have that's available to people on the internet. So there's pros and cons with that. The pros of that is that there's the availability of the information on the internet, and a lot of home buyers are doing their homework, which they should, before they come to me and get pre-approved. The con is there's all that information on the internet, and sometimes they gather so much information that when they come to me, we really need to kind of pick out some of the fact from the fiction and really kind of get down to the meat of what they're looking to do. So with that said, I mean, when people come to me, the first thing the question that I get, and I've gotten this for 20 years, The most frequently asked question when I pick up the phone and say hello is the first thing they ask is, what's your interest rate? Well, it's kind of a loaded question. I know everybody wants to know that, but I mean, think of it this way. If you were to call your favorite pizza place and order a pizza, and you were to call the restaurant and they were to pick up and you'd say, hey, I'd like to order a pizza, how much is it? Well, they kind of need to know more information, right? Do you want thin crust? Do you want thick crust? Are you looking for a deep dish? What sort of ingredients do you want on it? Are you picking it up? Do you want it delivered? You need to have all that information before you can actually give somebody the answer that they're looking for. And it's the same thing when somebody calls and wants to get pre-approved and they want to know what their interest rate is. I mean, there's a lot of information that goes into that. So it's our job to really kind of delve into that and ask the right questions. I mean, we need to know, are you purchasing a home, or are you refinancing the home that you already have? Are you looking to take cash out and tap into equity in your home? If you are, that's going to affect your interest rate. Are you going to live in the property? Is this a vacation home? Is it an investment property? It's also going to have an impact. What property type are you looking for? I mean, if you're looking for a single family home versus a condominium versus a multi-unit, that's also going to affect your interest rate. So we need to kind of, again, delve into that, really get to the meat and potatoes of what somebody's looking to do so we can, put together the right solution for them. So where am I at in here? So getting into that, so we went into some of the things that are going to affect interest rate. Credit is obviously going to be one of the big ones, okay? The first thing we're going to do after we ask all those important questions is we're going to have them complete an application and we're going to check their credit. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. I'm a little technically challenged, so please bear with me. We'll see. Deb, do you need to give me?
Yes, you didn't claim it when I sent it. Let me do it again.
Okay.
Just give me one. That's okay. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Find you. Where? And then you just have to give it back. Okay. So I've given you access.
Okay. All right. And then share. All right, guys. So I just put together just a quick presentation, and please feel free to use the chat button if you want and answer any questions that I put up here. What I thought we would do today is just take a few minutes and just kind of go through some of the facts versus myths when it comes to credit. So we'll start with that. We'll start with what makes up your credit score. The main thing that the bureaus are going to be looking for when they're spitting out a credit score, so to speak, is on-time payment history. So that's going to have the biggest impact. When I say on-time payment history, if you're 15 days late on something, yeah, you might get hit with a late pay on it, but it's not going to affect your credit scores until you're 30 days late on something. So like on-time mortgage payment is going to give you you're going to get it's going to have the greatest impact on your scores, as well as credit cards, any installment loans, things like that. Capacity used is about 30% of what makes up your credit score. And what we mean by that is if you look at your credit limits, your balance to limit ratios on your credit cards that's probably the quickest way for you to either drop your scores or increase your scores, meaning you have the most control over that. So a good rule of thumb is on your revolving credit card debt, try to keep your balances at or below like 25% of whatever the credit limits are, and you'll see your credit scores go up relatively quickly. Okay, so that's what they mean by capacity used. Length of credit history is about 15%. So the longer that you have had something opened and you have on-time payment history, the better off you're going to be. We'll get questions a lot of times with people saying, you know what, I want to close my credit card, I don't use it. Well, you've had it open since 1988. You've got no derogatory credit reporting. Cut your card if you don't want to use it, but don't close that account because it will have a negative impact on your credit history and your credit scores. And then types of credit used. So again, we look at mortgages are going to have the most impact. A car note or an installment loan like that will have significant impact. And then your lower revolving balances on your credit cards will have minimal impact, but you still want to make sure that you pay those on time. And then past credit applications. So you'll hear a lot of times people say, I don't want you to pull my credit. It's going to affect my credit scores. And there is something to that. You really don't want to have people pulling your credit, multiple times throughout the year, because it will eventually start to have a negative impact on your credit scores.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so what, I have a credit card that like I've had for a long time, and it's a big like a big balance that I can have. But so, okay, it's for REI points. I don't need all of these REI points. I like, they were great before, but there are other cards I would rather use and place. I mean, we run a lot of money on cards. Like, I don't use debit cards at all. Would it hurt me to call them and have them put my limit down so that it's not?
Yes.
That would hurt.
Yeah, so you don't want, because if your limit goes down, that means your balance to limit ratio goes up, and that's going to have a negative impact on your scores. So
But what if I was to open another card, like a different card, I would rather have in place of that? Am I better off just canceling the REI card?
I would not close it. If you don't want to use it anymore, especially if you've had it open for a long time, leave it open. You can pay it off, but what you may want to make sure you don't do is what you don't want to do is transfer. If you're getting a new card with a $10,000 limit and you've got $9,000 on your REI card, you don't necessarily want to transfer the entire balance over, because now you're at a high limit on the new card.
I don't carry any balances. Yeah, I carry no balances on any of my credit cards at all.
Okay.
So it would just be like getting rid of, like, swapping it out for something with better points or better cash back.
You could do that, but I would recommend don't close the REI card, because you've got the history with it. Just cut the card up and leave it open.
Okay.
Okay. We get this question a lot on deferred student loans. So my student loans are in deferment, right? I don't have to worry about paying these when I'm applying for a loan. Yes or no? No, you absolutely have to worry about that. And the reason for it, and they changed these rules a while back. We used to be able to exclude student loan debt if it was in a deferred status for more than 12 months. That is no longer the case. So whether you're paying on it or not, unless you're getting a VA loan, a veteran's loan, we're going to have to use some sort of balance, some sort of monthly payment towards that debt. And just to give you an idea, like if you have $20,000 of deferred student loan debt with zero payment showing, we may have to use up to a $200 a month payment. So that could impact your purchasing power by $40,000, literally that one payment. So if you have student loans, make sure you discuss that with your loan officer. We'll do a good review of it and kind of let you know what your options are. This one comes up a lot too. I have open collections. I should just pay those off before applying for a home loan, right? Well, again, not necessarily. Okay, before you pay anything off, talk with your loan officer. A lot of times medical collections, those are reporting a lot. We don't even know. I mean, any one of us could probably go pull our credit right now, and there's a medical collection on there that we have no idea that somebody slapped on there. Those don't have a great impact. There might not be any action required. The other thing too is if you pay off a collection, you're still closing an account. So whether you're closing an account that's in good standing or you're closing an account that's in bad standing, it's still, the credit bureaus look at it as a negative when it comes to your credit scores, because you're still closing out an account. So before you pay off any collections, again, talk with your mortgage lender. They'll know whether or not you need to do anything with that. Credit card debt. I'm going to pay off and close, and this is perfect, Katie, because this is kind of related to what you just talked about. I'm going to pay off and close all but one of my credit cards. I don't need access to all that credit anyways. Is that a good or bad idea? Bad idea. And again, because closing accounts, especially those that have long time on-time payment history, those can lower your scores in the short term. And in the long term, a good balance would be to have at least 3 open long-standing trade lines with good payment history that you charge a little bit on it and you pay it off. You charge a little bit, you pay it off. You're going to get the most bang for your buck that way. But if you can, if you can leave the cards open that are in good standing, again, you can pay them off. Just don't close them if you're looking to, if you're looking to buy a home in the near future, it could very well have a short-term negative impact by closing those down. Okay, and we kind of talked about this with credit inquiries. Will requesting a copy of my own credit report have a negative impact on my credit scores? And the answer to that is no. If you as a consumer go through like annualcreditreport.com, Credit Karma, I'm not a huge fan of that one, but like any one of those consumer services, it's considered a soft pull of your credit and it will not hurt your credit scores. When you're applying for actual credit, for a mortgage, for a car, for a Kohl's card, a Target card, whatever the case is, those institutions do a hard pull of your credit. And if you have too many of those over a 12-month period, you will see your credit scores drop. Okay. And then we get this question a lot with mortgage inquiries. So the first thing that any lender has to do after you complete your application, again, we have to pull credit. We cannot take a credit report from another lender. We can look at it, but unless we have our own credit report pulled that's connected with your application, we really can't give you the accurate information that we want to be able to give you. And again, having done this for so long, I don't like to leave any stone unturned when I'm issuing a pre-approval letter. I want to make sure we've crossed every T and dotted every I. So when you go out and you start looking for a home, all we want you to be able to do is just fill in the blank with the property, and everything else should already have been taken care of. So we may take a day or so longer on the upfront working on your pre-approval, but we're going to do that so there's no surprises for you after you go under contract. So with mortgage inquiries, again, the credit bureaus will recognize if you're shopping for a mortgage, just like they'll recognize if you're shopping for a car. And the general rule is, if you are shopping for a mortgage, call whatever lenders you plan on calling within about 14 to 15 days. If you can do that, and you've got 3 or 4 lenders pulling your credit within that short period of time, the bureaus will recognize that and will only hit you with 1 inquiry. So if you're going to do it, don't do one in September, 1 in October, 1 in November. Do them all in a very short period of time, and then you won't get hurt by that. And then this comes up a lot too. So why are you telling me I have to remove disputed accounts of my credit report? I'm still fighting with a creditor. I don't want to remove that dispute. Well, the reason for that is if you're disputing an account on your credit report, the credit bureaus are excluding that trade line when they're coming up with their credit scores. Okay. So if you have multiple disputed accounts, your lender may very well say, you know what? I'm not getting a true picture of what your credit scores are because all this information is not being included in the calculation. So depending on how many disputed accounts you have or what the total balances are, your lender may say, we got to take those out of dispute for now and rerun credit. We're getting right towards the end here. I know I'm probably up on time. Authorized user accounts. For people who are establishing credit, like for our children who are just getting out of college or whatever the case is, to get on maybe a parent's account as an authorized user. It will help complement their credit scores, but the problem that we can run into is that if you only have authorized user accounts, your lender is going to want to know, well, who's paying on these? Are you paying on these? Is mom paying on these? If you don't have any accounts of your own, they may exclude that when they're analyzing your file for a credit approval. So you want to have just kind of a nice blend, like maybe a couple authorized user accounts when you're getting established, maybe get yourself an Amazon card, something to try to kind of get something in your
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her. It looks like
Audra, I think we lost your voice. One. Yeah.
we did. All right. So I'm gonna reclaim the host because I think we've
Okay.
lost Audra.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-oh.
And let's see.
Okay.
All right. So do you want to, we'll move right into Lisa.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Lisa, you wanted to be host. Sorry, we lost Audra. All right. I'm going to make Lisa host. Lisa, I'm still here. Oh, Audra's coming back.
Yeah, but I had a big gust of wind. The internet went out.
Okay.
Okay. I'll finish up here real quick. So
Okay.
Finally, with the credit score variations, this is actually really important because I do get people like literally yell at me when they say, I checked my credit score on Credit Karma. My score's a 700, not a 640. What are you looking at? Like they're yelling at me. And the reason for that is that depending on who's pulling your credit, there's different risk models that the credit bureaus will use. So if you as a consumer are pulling your credit, you're going to get different credit scores than if a retail store is pulling your card for a credit card versus an automobile dealership pulling it for a car note and for a lender pulling it for a mortgage inquiry. So there's like over 50 different risk models that the bureaus use. So that's why you're going to see different credit scores depending on who it is that's pulling your credit. So in summary, thank you all for listening. My advice would be anybody who's looking to buy, just make sure that you are hooked up with an experienced mortgage lender who's going to ask the right questions, make sure that they've got your best interest at heart, not set false expectations, and really just make sure that they're set up for success and not failure. So that's really where I think I come into play. Again, with 20 years in the industry, first-time home buyers are kind of my niche and love working with them and helping them out. So if you know of anybody that I can, speak with, I'd be more than happy to do so.
Well, thank you. That's lots of good stuff. We probably have just a minute for about one question, just so that I want to be sure that Lisa has plenty of time for her presentation. So look, Rachel, looks like you got something.
Okay. Just real quick. I'm a lucky person that Daddy taught me well, and I've got excellent credit. But does it also affect your score? Like I have several credit cards where you go online, you check your balance, blah, 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 and it says you can check your FICO score for free. Mm-hmm. Does that also ding you? Or since they're doing that on their own, it's not like doing an inquiry?
For the most part, you should be okay with that. That would be a soft inquiry. Most of those services will only pull from one of the 3 credit bureaus. Remember, if you're applying for a mortgage, we're going to pull from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. A lot of those will just give you one, but at least it gives you an idea of where you're at. I think the most important thing that consumers can do when they're checking their credit, don't focus so much on the credit scores. Focus more on the body and the content of what's in there. Make sure there's no identity theft, those types of things going on.
Cool.
Great.
Thanks so much. Good info.
Yeah, really good info. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so her contact information is in the chat if you want to follow up with questions or just want to talk to her, then everything's in there. So, okay, Lisa, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to change gears here and talk more about your photos and your videos. So today we're going to talk about how to save, organize, and share your photos and videos. But even more important than that is how to protect them and how to enjoy them, because that is ultimately our goal, is to enjoy our images. So I'm Lisa Hemstreet, for anyone who's never met me. I've been a photo manager and a photo organizer for 26 years. I am married with 2 semi-adult children. I call them that because they are still on the payroll. They are 20 and 22, and they are living in California. My husband's dream was to move to Colorado. So during a worldwide pandemic, he moved us to Pine. We are at Pine Junction also. In September of 2020, over a year. So I got started in this industry during the days of film and printed photos. 26 years ago, that was our only option. We carried big cameras with us, and that is how we captured those images. My business evolved about 15 years ago as digital cameras became more common and as cell phones started to be able to capture really great quality photos and videos. So my business has evolved over that time. Right around that same time, I realized that a lot of my children's photos and my childhood was still on film of some sort, VHS tapes, 8mm, audio reels, cassettes, and items that needed to be saved that I couldn't view any longer. And so I started to look into options and spent a great deal of time researching companies and learning the ins and outs of digitizing those memories, whether I was doing it myself or having someone else do it. I realized that if I had this need, my clients had this need. So that's kind of how my company and my business has evolved in helping others. Two things I want to talk about before I get into the meat and potatoes is I'm going to use the word family a lot. And I want you, when I say family, I want you to think about what your definition of family is. Your family might be you and a spouse and your children. It might be a more non-traditional, you and a partner, or maybe you're single and it's you and your best friend and your pets. It might be you and your siblings and your nieces and nephews. So when I say family, whatever your definition of family is what I want you to picture in your head. And remember that as I talk about options today and how we can get you motivated to get started, it took you longer than a weekend to collect all these memories. So it's going to take us a little bit longer than a weekend to get everything in order. So what are your photo goals? If you could wave a magic wand and have everything in order, what would that look like? I want you to think about where those images would be. Would they be on a wall, gallery in your home? Would they be in photo books? Would they be gifts that you could give to family and loved ones? And then I want you to picture your favorite photo. That always changes. I have a favorite photo right now, that if somebody asked me, I could pull it out and show it to them. It might be a collection of photos. It might be a vacation you took before the pandemic, and that those are your favorite photos. But where are they? And how easy can you access those photos? That's what I want to get you to think about. So just a couple of interesting facts. Over 90% of the photos taken today are taken on your cell phone. The best camera you have is the one that's in your purse or your pocket at any given time. We used to carry digital cameras. Many of us still do for vacations and graduations and important family events. And so we still take quite a bit of photos on that and our tablets. But for the most part, digital cameras. And because we don't have to pay to process and print those images, we take a lot more photos these days. We take photos every day that we wouldn't have done 10 or 15 years ago. So last year was estimated that almost 7.5 trillion photos were stored. And this year we're on track for over 8 trillion. And next year we're on track for over 9 trillion. It's a lot of photos to manage. And according to Business Wire, over half of the people are completely overwhelmed with how to manage and organize that amount of photos. That's a lot of images to have to manage in your life. But if I told you that you could spend about 15 minutes a day on your cell phone, which is in your hand at any given time, just a few times a week, wouldn't that be an interesting way to know that you could manage those photos? That's what we're going to talk about today. So to get started on this, there's some steps, some simple, easy steps. The first thing you want to do is digitize those old physical memories. Those memories are deteriorating. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. I want you to get those videos, those VHS, those film reels, those voice messages that might be on your cell phone of a loved one. Get those saved and protected and make sure that you can access them and share them. Get everything preserved in one digital home. It's one place that you can share your images, share with family and friends, and make sure that everything is protected. And then celebrate those memories. Enjoy those images. Either print photo books or gifts for loved ones, calendars, just anything to get those images, those photos back into your life. So where are those family stories? Where are your images right now? Are they in a drawer with old thumb drives and memory cards from cameras? Are they stored in the basement? Or maybe you have that closet in the hallway where everything is in boxes and bins. Are they on external hard drives? And can someone else access that? Are they on social media? And I think we all learned about a week or two ago that social media is not a safe place for your images. When Facebook went down, there were a lot of people that panicked that couldn't access their photos, that were thinking that photos stored in Facebook were easily accessible. And that is just simply not true. And then there's free cloud storage. Cloud storage becomes very popular and very common these days, but there are some good and some not so great ones. So how are memories lost? Natural disasters. We all know fires and floods. We all lived through the fires last year here in Colorado, and unfortunately people lost their homes and lost important family memories. But also deterioration. Storing incorrectly in an attic, a basement, or worse, a garage can cause your memories to fade and deteriorate faster than they would if they were stored inside your home. Photos and videos need to live where you live. So temperature and humidity that's comfortable for you is where those need to be stored. Everyday circumstances such as downsizing, disorganization. You know, a lot of times when a family member passes and somebody has to go through their belongings, they may not know who these people are, so they throw those memories away. Or they split them up between siblings and nieces and nephews. Everybody gets a little bit of those images, but nobody gets everything. And so those images are kind of spread out among family members. And again, social media, we don't need to talk about that anymore, but that is a common way that people lose images. But the most common way these days are hard drive failures. I don't know if anybody has ever had a panic moment when your computer starts to fail or you have a blue screen of death. I had a computer that had a mechanical failure. The arm broke, just that spins the disk, and I lost everything on that computer. It cost thousands of dollars, and my hard drive had to go to a clean room to get extracted. Only 75% of the data could get back. And I lost almost everything on that computer, but it did not contain my photos, thankfully. But that happens all the time. It's not a matter of if your computer will crash, it's a matter of when. So to avoid that, you need to have proper backups, because external hard drives, the life of an external hard drive is about 3 to 5 years. They need to be replaced. So there's an expense involved in that. Thumb drives are not meant for storage, they're meant for sharing, so they're not a permanent solution. And CDs and DVDs, not only do they start to deteriorate after about 10 years, most of our computers don't even have a drive to view those files, so we need to get them in a safe location. So some things to think of when you're backing up. There's a rule called 3-2-1. You want 3 copies of everything. This is not just photos, these are your important family documents. It could be passports, it could be a will and trust. All of these items are considered your important family memories and documents. 3 copies, 2 of them in 2 different locations on a local device. So your home or your office, it could be your computer and an external hard drive. And then 1 of them should be offsite, preferably in a cloud, something that you can access when you're out and about. That's the ideal situation. The problem with many backup solutions that people have is the accessibility for others. We are all eventually going to pass away, and somebody is going to have to go through our belongings. Would a family member or a child know which external hard drive to plug in, how to access your files and folders that are on that to regain those memories? So a lot of times those items, again, remember in downsizing, they're thrown away because nobody can access those images. And then online cloud storage is something we're going to talk about in detail. Most sites are temporary, and we want to make sure that you have a permanent solution. You want to own what you have. We all know the risks involved with renting. It can be taken away from you, whether it's a car or a home. And I think most of us know that having something that you own is much more valuable to you. So when I talk about this, I'm going to talk about a digital home, one place where everything can be stored, protected, organized, and then you can share between family and loved ones. So I'm not going to read all of these on cloud storage, but I've spent the last 6 years learning terms of service. Yes, it's very dry, but we all click that box that says I agree, but we never read it. And so I'm going to talk to you about some of the really popular online cloud storage, the items that what you're agreeing to. Icloud can suspend or terminate your account at any time. Facebook owns all your content. Again, we've learned that very recently. Dropbox and Shutterfly are two very popular photo sharing websites, but they do not give you the digital rights. And if you stop paying, they can delete your account. Google Drive is also a big one. They do sell your data to advertisers. Data mining, if you don't know what that is one example would be you're on your computer and you're looking at ski boots and snowboards, and then a couple days later you're on your cell phone and ads come up on your phone for ski boots and snowboards. That is data mining. Those are advertisers that sell your keystrokes to advertise to you. That's how they make your money. So if you were not paying for a service, that's how the advertiser is making their money. You are their consumer, you are their product. Google, I have a coworker whose client was out of town, out of state. One of them got sick and they went to an urgent care. And when they walked in, their photo was printed on the wall in the lobby. And when they asked the office manager how they got it, they said they had purchased it from a stock photo website. The only place that photo had ever been uploaded was to their Google Drive. So yes, those photos do in fact get sold. So it's not just your keystrokes, it is your information. So we're going to talk about the company that I use, which is called Forever. And we're the only company right now that is permanent guaranteed cloud storage that you own and you retain the digital rights to. So Google is really popular. I'm not going to read all this, but I do want you to know that when you sign up for Google Drive, in the red it says you are allowing Google to host, reproduce, distribute, and communicate and use your content. And that's the example I used earlier. You've given them permission to sell your photos and videos. And if you do not use Google for a 2-year period and your account is inactive, they may delete your account with all of your images. iCloud, again, very popular with Mac users. Apple, if Apple cannot charge your card, they will delete your account. And I do know somebody, again, a client of a coworker that happened to. A family member passed away. They canceled all of his credit cards to protect any reoccurring payments, but one of them was his iCloud. And when they realized it, Apple had already deleted their account and all of his family images, and their family lost everything on that side of the family. But the most important thing is the last line. iCloud is a backup service, but Apple tells you it is your responsibility to maintain an appropriate alternative backup. So that tells you right now it's not permanent. Forever is the company that I use. These are actual terms of service that you sign with my company. You retain full ownership and intellectual property rights to everything you store, your photos and your videos. We guarantee that content will be preserved and accessible in your account for your lifetime plus 100 years and hopefully even longer. But how do we do that? Most of the money that you would spend with your cloud storage is put into an endowment fund. Another company that uses endowment funds is MetLife. They use that to be able to pay out an insurance policy in 50, 60 years and guarantee that that money is there. How we do that, we use that money to make sure that your photos and videos are going to be there for your lifetime plus 100 years for your family. We also migrate your data. When I had my children's videos scanned 15 years ago, they were in an MP1 format. No computer will read or upload or view an MP1 format anymore because we're on MP4. So if you store videos with my company, we will migrate that data as MP4 grows to different formats. You will never have to scan those images again. And I did have to scan everything twice, so I know the expense involved with that. And we are secured for generations. There is no data mining, there's no hidden costs. We want you to, your family, your nieces, your nephews, your children to inherit all of these images. So now let's talk about the fun part. Enjoying those and celebrating those memories and those photos are the most meaningful part of why you took those images. You want to make items with them. If you can click, drag, and type, I can teach you how to enjoy those memories, whether it be photo canvases on the wall. Think about that photo I asked you earlier. What is your favorite photo or group of photos? Where are they? I have a picture right behind my computer that is of my family. It's one of my favorite family photos, but it's on my wall. So I get to enjoy that photo every single day. If it's a photo book, if it's a coffee mug that you're drinking out of in the morning, something that just really inspires you and motivates you is how you enjoy those images. And that's different for everybody. So how do you want to celebrate them? Think about the question I asked you earlier. What are those photos? What invokes those memories for you? And then how do you like to enjoy them? And then I can help you get started on that. So just to recap, you want to digitize everything that is film and is not in the digital format. You want to preserve them all into one digital home so you can access and share them and enjoy them. And then you want to celebrate and enjoy those memories so that they are in your life again and not just stored on a tablet or a device. So think about now how you want to start. I do offer a 30-minute consultation, either via Zoom or in person. We talk about where your photos are and what you would like, how your vision is for those photos. We will work together depending on what your ideal end goal is. And then we'll break that down into steps, because remember, this didn't all collect in a weekend, and we will set you up with a plan to get you started. So you can email me, my email's on the screen. I'll also put it in the chat. And then you can text me or call me on my business line, and we can set up an appointment if that's something that you are interested in. So do we have, and I know it's a lot of words on my screen, so hopefully you guys were able to at least absorb a little bit. Do we have any questions about anything that I talked about or that I didn't talk about?
What's the cost for forever?
So it's kind of like the pizza question. What I usually do is I sit down and we talk about what your needs are. If you want a storage account, it varies depending on the size of the storage account, as little as 10 gig, or you can go up to terabytes. So it really varies depending on your needs. So we can break that down depending on your needs, Rachel. And also, we do have promos and specials. We try to give you at times of the year where you can get a discount or a deal, which is always what I recommend that people do. But for the amount of a cup of coffee a month, if you want to break those payments down into 12 payments, because you can, it could be as little as $10 to $15 a month, or $140 outright payment if you want to pay it in one payment. And again, it can go up from there depending on the space.
I mean, I feel like I pay $10 for Dropbox a month, so, and it's not secure.
And it is not permanent. Yep, it is not permanent. It's not secure. Yes, that's a great point.
Right.
And
certainly
a lot of
something
times,
to think about.
I think I pay $100 a year for Google Photos.
Oh, wow. And that's high.
I do like a terabyte.
Okay.
Well, you have twins, Katie, so you got a lot of pictures to take.
Well, also it's also all of my files, like all my Google files and stuff are in there too.
Yeah.
But I think I have some things saved like 5 times. So.
And that's something we can help you break those up, and you can maybe just bring down the amount of space you have to pay for Google. I mean, obviously sometimes you need that for business and it's a business expense, but then we can get your photos and videos in a more secure location so that as your children grow, they will have access to them. You can actually assign an admin to your account. So my husband's an admin for mine. My children are not yet until they are a little bit more adult-like, but my husband can take over my account at any time if something were to happen to me. So you can assign somebody as your administrative person.
Okay, lots of great information. And I know that you didn't really talk too much about it, but Lisa had just helped me get a holiday card put together for my business. And it was a long process because of me. And so Lisa was very patient and kind with working through that.
That's true. Now is the time that people are doing holiday cards. That is a big thing in November. So if anybody wants to do client cards or family and friends, the only reason Stephanie's was a little more difficult is hers was a business, and we had to make sure that we didn't use a copyrighted photo to protect herself. So that's the only reason that hers took a little longer. Right. If you have a family photo and you want to do photo, yeah, you're welcome. It was fun to do.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions for Lisa, I just You know, you can get on LinkedIn. She's on LinkedIn, easy to find. Just type in her name and it pops up. So connect with her that way too. Okay, does anybody have any last minute things they want to throw out or events that you want us to know? Josie, you got something?
Well, I just had a question. I was excited about the Christmas gathering. And then I saw like 6 dozen cookies. That was kind of a lot to me, kind of intimidating. So am I the only one with that?
Yeah, so
Fair?
we're saying maybe 4 dozen, but what's going to happen is as everybody RSVPs, then I can dwindle it down. Right now, I think I only have like 5 RSVPs. So, but we're thinking maybe about 4 dozen and make them small.
Okay,
So,
that's what a little. That's the only reason I didn't RSVP. I was like, oh God, I don't cook very much. I don't bake very much. But okay, I could do 4. I think.
Okay.
They could be store-bought. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
For us non-bakers.
Yeah, I may have to do
Josie,
that.
I was thinking that too, and then I looked at my recipe and I realized that I could just double it, and that will probably make you 4 dozen. So your favorite recipe doubled will probably work.
Right.
Yeah.
It's small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Home Goods has really good, cute cookie tins. So just stop at the Safeway, pick them up in the bakery, and put them in your own tin. No one will know the difference.
Perfect. I love the way you think.
I do just want to share a little bit about the holiday boutique and gift show that I'm doing. It is something that I organized up here. It's at the Aspen Park Community Center, and it was reaching out to local business owners in our community who just wanted to be able to reach a larger group at one location at one time and to share all of our goods. So hoping that some of you will come out and join us. It is Friday from 4 to 8 and then Saturday from 9 to 4. And as you heard, Daddy's Homemade is going to be there. And also, so is Red Rocks Toffee. And I'm hoping that our bread lady is still going to be there. She wasn't sure if she's going to be able to pull it together. Pine Needles bread. She's got some great homemade bread. So she still hasn't gotten back to me if she's able to pull it together with her young new baby that she has, but I'm hoping she does. But we have lots of great artists that are going to be there. And we're all going to have some great holiday gift ideas for everybody. And hopefully you can come and support us and do some shopping.
Great. So maybe, you know, I'm sure we can put something out on the Facebook page to, I see Deb shaking her head, so nodding her head. So, so she'll get that figured out. So that's exciting. Okay. Rachel, you got something?
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, don't be scared by the amount of cookies. Again, like Deb said, we're going to adjust based on attendance. So that shouldn't be anything to keep anybody from coming to our fun little get together. I am also going to be doing a canvas painting class at the Nature Link on December 16th. I know there are still a few slots available. If anybody's interested, look into that and come paint with us. And I'm also around all holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I'm in town. I'm not doing any more traveling. And if you have family in town, want to keep the kids occupied, I'm available to do canvas painting classes at your location throughout the holidays, as well as face painting and things like that. If anybody needs me, just holler. One other quick thing, I'm not sure I can go, but I'm going to try to go to Bryn's event this evening. She's also just an amazing counselor, empowerment guru person, and I'm really glad she joined us this morning. Hopefully she'll continue to, and we'll keep learning more about her and her wonderful work in the community and with women. She's awesome, as are all of you. Thank you.
Great. Okay, well, I think, let's see if anybody else has anything, then I think that we will just wrap it up. Thank you, Audra. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for all the information. It was a great information to get. All right. Okay. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
Bye.